I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers stay as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
Welcome. We're going to explore a concept today that feels, well, both incredibly freeing and maybe a bit challenging to our usual way of thinking. It's Lesson 314. I seek a future different from the past.
And it really is a fundamental invitation, isn't it? Is this opportunity to just, set down what we've been carrying and start fresh?
Absolutely. And our aim, as always, is to help bring these ideas right into the middle of your everyday life, the busy, sometimes chaotic parts. How can we actually use this?
And we always appreciate hearing how these lessons resonate with you. You can find us on social media. Just look for the World Harmony Project.
Or drop us an email. It's ACIM@theworldharmonyproject.org. We genuinely read everything you send.
We do. So before we talk about it, let's take a moment and just hear the lesson itself.
Lesson 314. I seek a future different from the past. From new perception of the world, there comes a future very different from the past. The future now is recognized as but extension of the present. Past mistakes can cast no shadows on it, so that fear has lost its idols and its images, and being formless, it has no effects. Death will not claim the future now, for life is now its goal, and all the needed means are happily provided. Who can grieve or suffer when the present has been freed, extending its security and peace into a quiet future filled with joy?
Father, we were mistaken in the past and choose to use the present to be free. Now do we leave the future in your hands, leaving behind our past mistakes, ensure that you will keep your present promises and guide the future in their holy light.
That very first line, from new perception of the world, there comes a future very different from the past.
It really strikes me as almost like an invitation to be reborn in this moment.
It is. It's saying, look, you actually can choose differently right now. The past doesn't have this irreversible hold on you.
It reminds me of that line in the text about being born again. Now is he born again to you, and you are born again to him without the past that sentenced him to die.
Without the past that sentenced him to die. That's quite something. It implies we don't need to carry every single mistake or hurt forward into the next interaction, the next moment.
We don't, but the challenge is that the past feels so real, so instructive. We've built identities around it, haven't we? Our defenses, our justifications.
Our lessons learned, even if those lessons are just reinforcing fear.
Right. So choosing differently means acknowledging that maybe that history, the one we rely on to keep us safe, is actually the cage.
So the choice isn't just about future actions. It's about how we see right now. Are we seeing it through the lens of yesterday, or are we allowing it to be new?
Precisely. And this hinges on a completely different understanding of time than we usually have.
Okay.
The lesson says the future is an extension of the present.
Which directly cuts against that common idea. The dominoes falling.
Yeah.
Past causes present. Present causes future. All in a straight, unchangeable line.
It locks us in.
But this lesson says, no, it's not locked. If your perception changes now, then what extends from now is different. It's not predetermined by what happened before. I find the analogy of recordings and broadcasts helpful here. Think of the past like old audio recordings. They exist, they're fixed, you can't change them.
Okay, fixed recordings.
But crucially, they have no power on their own to create anything new. They only play if we choose to play them, consciously or not.
Got it.
The present is the live broadcast. It's what's actually happening right now, unscripted, unfolding.
Live, fresh. Okay.
So the future isn't some separate thing we build. It's just the continuation of the live broadcast. The same present moment still happening, extending forward.
So if we're living from the past, we're basically choosing to air the old fixed recordings over the live broadcast that's actually happening.
Yes. We're overlaying yesterday's static onto today's signal. And then we wonder why things feel stuck or repetitive.
We're literally replaying the old show instead of participating in the new one.
And that's exactly where fear gets its fuel. When we hit play on those old recordings, fear has all this material to work with every past failure, every hurt, every mistake.
That becomes its source code, its ammunition.
These past experiences then become fear's idols, things we treat as real and powerful, believing they predict what's coming.
We give them predictive power they don't actually possess. Like, if something bad happened once in a certain situation, we treat that memory as an idol that guarantees it will happen again.
Oh, definitely. Think about relationships. Someone got hurt badly in a past relationship. Maybe there was betrayal or abandonment.
Okay.
So they meet someone new, someone genuinely different. But the slightest thing happens, a delayed text, a misunderstood comment.
And the fear immediately pulls up the old recording, the idol.
Right. The internal script starts instantly. Here it comes. This is how it starts. They're pulling away. I know how this ends because it ended this way before.
And you're not even reacting to the person or the situation in front of you anymore. You're reacting to a ghost, to that idol from the past.
You're reacting to a movie you've already written based on old footage.
And those fear images feel so solid, so convincing. We feel like we have to protect ourselves against this inevitable outcome we've projected.
But the lesson is clear. Those images, those idols, only have form, only have solidity if we keep dragging the past into the present.
If we free the present from that baggage,
then fear loses its idols and its images. They become formless.
and that's the key phrase, being formless, it has no effects. It's like the air goes out of the balloon. The memory might still be there as a fact, but it loses its charge, its power to dictate the now.
Its gravitational pull is gone.
Okay.
It's just information, not an active force.
So if the past loses its power and the future just extends from the present, then everything hinges on this moment. This is where the authorship happens.
Right. Not authorship in the sense of controlling every detail of the external world, but choosing what we perceive, what we believe is real now.
And there's such freedom in that. Even though it sounds like a big responsibility, it's freeing because what extends isn't predetermined by history.
If I choose to see this moment differently, through a lens of peace or acceptance instead of fear,
then the quality of the experience that continues, that extends, has to be different. It can't be the same old story.
because the past holds all our endings, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Every failure, every loss, every disappointment, it's all filed away back there.
Mm-hmm. And if we project that forward, we're basically just anticipating more endings. We're living in expectation of the next failure, the next loss. A pretty bleak outlook. But the lesson offers the alternative. Life is now its goal. If the aim in this moment is simply life, open, present, then what extends is life itself, not those anticipated endings from the past.
Let's think about applying this. I know I fall into this trap, especially meeting new people. I call it the instant history trap.
Tell me more.
Well, within maybe 5 minutes of meeting someone, I've already subconsciously cooked up a whole story about them.
Yeah.
Oh, this person seems a bit arrogant, or that one's probably disorganized, or they seem guarded, maybe they were hurt before.
You're writing their backstory for them based on almost nothing, and maybe your own stuff too.
Totally. And then the problem is every single interaction after that gets filtered through that instant history I just invented.
You start looking for evidence to confirm your story.
Exactly. I'm predicting how they'll react, interpreting their words to fit my narrative. I'm not interacting with the actual person anymore. I'm interacting with the character I created.
You create the proof for your judgment.
It's a vicious cycle. So when I notice myself doing it, the practice is to consciously shift gears. Notice the label, the story, there's the arrogant label, but then actively choose not to treat it as fact.
You acknowledge the thought, but don't give it authority.
Right. And instead, try to be genuinely curious. Like, okay, my mind offered that label, but who is this person actually right now in front of me? Let me just listen and see.
That switch from judgment to curiosity changes everything. It allows them to be new. You're extending freedom from the present, not judgment from a fabricated past.
And you know what else happens? It saves so much energy.
Oh, absolutely. The mental energy it takes to constantly scan the past, predict the future, manage impressions, defend against perceived threats. It's enormous.
Trying to control everything based on old data, trying to prevent the bad thing from happening again.
And the moment you stop doing that, all that energy is freed up just to be present, to respond naturally to what is.
Which connects to that line. All the needed means are happily provided. It implies we don't have to strain and strive and force outcomes based on our fearful historical analysis.
Right. If we're operating from the present, from a place of allowing life to be the goal, the resources needed for that moment, the right words, the insight, the connection, the solution, they arise naturally. They're provided by the present itself, not manufactured by our anxious planning.
It's a completely different way of operating. Less pushing, more allowing. Less controlling, more trusting in the flow of the present extending.
Trusting that life, allowed to extend from a place of peace now, knows how to continue peacefully.
And the result described, it's a quiet future filled with joy.
Yes, that quiet joy. It's the peace of the present simply continuing. It's not about finally getting the past right or winning some future victory. It's the natural state that emerges when the present is unburdened.
Which brings us back to that core question in the lesson. Who can grieve or suffer when the present has been freed?
It's not saying challenges disappear, but the deep, chronic suffering, the grieving over past events we can't change, the anxiety about future events we project that comes directly from keeping the past alive and projecting it forward.
Most of our suffering isn't about the raw experience of the present moment itself, but about the historical overlay and the future dread we add to it.
When past mistakes truly can't cast shadows, when that freedom is real, the present just extends. And what extends is inherently peaceful and joyful because it's not carrying that old weight.
This sounds very much like the idea of the holy instant, that moment outside of time's usual flow where everything can be different.
It is the holy instant, made practical and continuous. The holy instant isn't just a fleeting mystical thing, it's the potential of every single moment when we choose to free it from the past.
Each moment holds that potential for a new beginning, for the perception to shift.
But we do need to acknowledge letting go isn't always easy. There can be a kind of grief involved, even in releasing painful things.
Because we get attached to our stories, don't we? Even the painful ones. They become part of our identity. I'm the person who survived this, or I learned that the hard way.
Exactly. That hard-won wisdom can feel essential to who we are. Letting go of the story can feel like letting go of a part of ourselves, a part that felt strong or resilient or justified.
It requires a willingness to not know who you are without that defining past. It's a step into the unknown.
And maybe mourning the future you thought you had mapped out, even if it was a future based on repeating the past. There's a letting go of the illusion of control that comes from prediction.
So the final choice isn't about fixing the past, or trying harder to manage the future based on past lessons.
No, the choice is simpler and maybe harder. Can I be free of the past right now? Can I see this moment without its filter?
And trust. Trust that what extends from that freedom will be okay, will be guided, will be inherently different, and ultimately joyful.
Trust that the present promises mentioned in the prayer will be kept, guiding the future in their light, not the shadows of our mistakes.
So Lesson 314 offers a radical shift in our relationship with time. The future isn't this thing built out of past brooks. It just flows directly from the quality of this present moment.
And when we release the present from the grip of past mistakes and fear, what flows from it is genuinely new, peaceful, and alive. The means are provided because the source is life itself, unburdened.
So maybe for today, just notice. Notice where you might be automatically extending something from the past, a fear, a judgment, an expectation into what's happening right now. Are you playing an old recording, or are you tuned in to the live broadcast?
That's a great practice. Thanks for exploring this with us. As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. You can email us at acim@theworldharmonyproject.org or find us on social media, The World Harmony Project. We'll be back next time for Lesson 315.